2012 season membership campaign, We Are Port Adelaide, launched today. 36,500 members last season. Hopefully a lot more than that, as I welcome in his second year as senior coach, Matthew Primus. Matty, how are you?
Good afternoon, fellas. Going well, thank you.
Second year is always better than the first year. They do say that. But let's talk about the 2012 season membership campaign, We Are Port Adelaide.
Yeah, launched today, and I suppose if you get onto our website, I think there's a website, www.weareportadelaide.com.au. It's just, we're really starting off our membership campaign and really just making it inclusive of everyone who loves Port Adelaide to get on board. And, the front page of our membership brochure just has anyone who's involved with the club. So whether you're the CEO or you're a supporter from Melbourne, Perth, wherever you are, a volunteer at the club, whoever, we want you on board. And if you are, we're going to make you feel real inclusive of being involved in our footy club. And we're obviously trying to get big numbers to support us as much as they did last year. We're looking to try and better that this year if we can.
36,500, I reckon it was last year, wasn't it, Ro? Is that right? So 40,000. Where does that growth come from? Is that out of schools? You're targeting anybody specifically?
We're trying to target just everyone who loves the football club. And, you might say that means you're going to be inhibited at a certain level, but we want to get as many people as we can who love the football club, who either did support us last year or who didn't renew their memberships. We want to get as many back as we can and keep continually growing it from there and get them to join the journey that we're on.
Okay, let's talk about the footy because that's why we're here. And we'll get back to that. We'll do it again. weareportadelaide.com.au. We'll keep promoting that. You can book right now. I guess you can ring the club now or get on that internet and website and book now. Let's get into it. You've got your team, and Rennie and Carr in the midfield, Brad Koch in defence, Buddha Hocking still with the forwards, and Tyson joins you as a development coach. So that's a positive, and you'd be happy with that lineup.
Yeah, it's great. There's 4 new faces there with the coaches. We've put on Jared Egan too in our fitness and in our fitness area. We've put on a full-time physio. We've really beefed up our resources around the footy club, and it does have a lot of high energy around the club at the moment with those new coaches, and obviously the players have come back in great nick, and officially we started together all officially today.
Can I ask you how tough that is with 4 new brains in your organisation? I mean, do you sit down with them and say, this is my plan? Do you work a game plan together? I mean, 4 new heads has got to cause some problems, or is it?
I think it's good problems. They're going to throw up their ideas. I'm definitely a collaborative coach. I don't want to be my way or the highway, but I've got it in my mind how we want to play and how we want to structure up and go down it with them. And we go over it. They throw what they think might work, and we toss it around. But a few weeks ago, we definitely come up with a plan. This is what we're going to do, and made sure we're well prepared to give that to the players and feed it into them as the weeks go by.
I guess the next part is how hard is it to try and cram? We spoke to Brenton Sanderson last week about all the stuff he's trying to cram into his blokes for the first time. Yeah. How do you decide where to start? Like, is it fitness? Is it strength? Is it game plan? For the West Coast Eagles, is it just as simply as kicking was last year and the development they made and the progress they made by just addressing one thing? Where does it start?
I think it starts with, the year we had. There's obviously a lot of things we can improve on, no doubt about that. So we're focusing on, our fitness. We put a lot of guys out for surgery to make sure we've got our full squad ready to go. So we're focused on that. And there's a couple of key areas we really have to get better at. Our contested footy fell off the face of the earth last year, so we're focusing pretty heavily on that. And if you've got to have that, you've got to have that to be competitive. So that's our biggest focus, along with making sure the guys get through the next 4 or 5 months of pre-season.
This time last year when we spoke to you, Matty, it was about defensive spread from stoppage, defensive action all across the ground to stop teams kicking multiple goals on you. Will that still be a focus? I know you can't.
Yeah. Oh, look, it will be. Look, I think every team that didn't make the finals wants to improve defensively, so we're going to do that. Yeah, for sure. That's going to be one of our focuses. And, if we want to be any good, not just next year, the next 3, 4, 5 years, we've got to get better in that regard. So that's going to be something we're going to focus on for sure. Yeah.
Is that about fixing up the couple of blokes who probably didn't have great years? I mean, Carlisle and Chaplin didn't have great years by their standards. Is it as simple as saying if they get better, we'll be better? Or?
No. Look, if you had Matty Scarlett and Tarrant down there, and they had 75 inside 50s against them, I think they're going to have goals kicked against them. So I think it's more we've got to fix up our ability to get enough of the ball inside 50, going our way first of all, and stop as many going in against. And I thought Chappie his year was okay. Bobby Carlisle had to get fitter and stronger, and he has certainly turned up ready to go this pre-season for that. So if those two are capable of doing that, they can handle themselves as long as we're around the mark with inside 50s against.
I was going to say, if there was something you'd stop, start and keep, everyone does that in business, so you'd stop something, start something, keep something. What would be something that you would keep that you did last year that if you do again next year better, you'll be higher up the rung, and then a stop and a.
Look, there obviously the year we had, there wasn't statistical wise, there wasn't too many things that went well for us. I think our ability to score when we went inside 50 was in the top 5 in the competition, and the amount of games we got into our young kids was something that we're going to continue to do. So we want to continue to do that. As I said, last year we had about 40% of our list do the whole pre-season, and that wasn't good enough, and that was played a significant part in why we weren't able to maintain our rage, I suppose you want to call it, in games. So we want to improve on that, and we think we went a fair way down that path of putting guys out last year to make sure they're ready to go from day dot.
Yep. Trade week, you got Brad Ebert and Brett Renouf, and I think the guys behind the scenes nailed that. That was a great result for you.
Yeah, look, it was. We know we're going to get a quality player at pick 6, but we wanted to beef up our midfield with a couple of big bodies, and Brad's certainly one of them. And we thought Loeb's certainly come on in leaps and bounds with his ruck work, but we think we need him not a lot of support around him with a ready-made ruckman ready to go. And Brett Renouf's only 23 and played 50 or 60 odd games, played in the premiership. So we think he's going to really complement our on-ball division along with Brad.
You were very patient last year and took a lot of bullets and stayed upright, which was incredibly strong for you personally. How patient can you be this year? Will you be just as patient and tolerant this year as you were last year?
Look, I think you want to be, but like our supporters will want us to improve with wins on the board. We certainly want to be about that. I know our players definitely weren't happy with the year we had, so we'll be patient to an extent. But we're going to need continual improvement, whether you're Camo Show played his first year, whether you're Dom Cassisi in his 10th year. We're going to need improvement from all of those guys, and that's what this pre-season's about, making sure that by the come February they've improved in some little way in their game. Some guys will take bigger steps, some will take lesser steps, but that's what we're about, and so I'll be patient to an extent, but then we're going to need these guys to step up and play better footy and be able to compete for a lot longer in games than what they did last year.
Does that have to show on the scoreboard and the premiership ladder as well, that improvement? Are you happy with individual improvement and not a win? I mean, I
think they come together. To some extent, they come together. But look, we would like to have more wins than last year, and I know everybody involved in the club wants to. But if we have improvement from every player on our list, and people might say that's too much, but every player on our list can improve in some facet of the game. And if they do that, we'll have a better year than last year, and that's all that we're after at the moment.
And I'm saying it seems a similarity with Richmond, and we've seen what Hardwick's done with them, and he's quantified it in number terms. I think I heard him say the other day, we've got our 500 games into our 22 and unders, and now we're moving on. Is it that simple? Is it? Can you put a number on it now?
I'm not sure you can put a number on it, but we're definitely down the path. As I said, we had a core group of players that hadn't played enough footy together, and they still haven't. So they're going to achieve that this year. And how many more games that is, time will tell. But we're going to play them more together. But every year, your expectations have got to get a little bit higher, no matter how young you are, how old you are, and our expectations will be higher than what they were going into last year.
5:15, our very special guest, Matt Primus. We got him for a half hour. We'll talk all things Leon Davis, the fixture. There's plenty to come up. We Are Port Adelaide, the 2012 season membership campaign. Log on, www.weareportadelaide.com.au. 36,500 is their target. Matty's in here to spruik that, and we are too. We are Port Adelaide, Bone. Are you?
40,000 is the number, probably. I mean, that's a 10% increase, but again, you see interstate clubs now looking for 60 and 70, so I think 40,000 would be a great number.
Well, I've got KT there, Matty's there, Peter Rhodes there, then Tyson Zuma went there, the coach of my little Colt. I've got no excuses not to be We Are Port Adelaide, Matty.
Well, get your wallet out, mate, and sign up.
That's an excuse.
That is the excuse.
Don't forget the big puss. 16 past 5.
2012 season membership campaign for Port Adelaide. It's up and about. We Are Port Adelaide. Get onto that website, not the Port Adelaide website. I'm sure if you do, you can follow the links and get to it, but it's www.weareportadelaide. Matty Primus, our guest. We've still got a fair bit more to get through. Let's get straight to one of them that we're all excited about. Well, I am. Leon Davis. Neon Leon. I can see him in your colours, Matt.
Yeah, we had a chat to Leon early last week, just more to see where he's at with his footy and how interested he is in continuing playing at AFL level and playing at a pretty high level. So I think we're well aware he wants to be in Perth or Adelaide, close to his wife's family's from here or his family's from there. So, it was mainly just a great chat to see where he's at with his footy and if he really wants to keep being the best he can be. And he certainly come across as if he does. So, that'll play out in the next couple of weeks. We'd probably see he could really fill a pretty valuable spot for us down back there without taking up a spot of any of our young kids who are developing in that area. So we're to weigh that up, but he was pretty impressive.
The only negativity I can see is there are some fans that may very well say, and I'd love your response to this, well, you moved Chad on because of his age, you went down the youth path, and now you're going to recruit a 30-year-old?
Oh, well, as I said, it's about playing in a position where we think we've got a needs basis, and he's not going to take up games of our youth. And I think Leo played whatever you want to call it, half back pocket, or he played in the back line, and that would release a Jasper Pittard or something like that to come up and play on ball more. So it's not as if it's a key position player where we have young developing guys in that area. So, but we're talking to a few other mature age guys, and we'll see what plays out by the end of November in the draft.
Big role in the game, isn't it? That sort of quarterback role that he played, where you give him the ball, let him run and carry or hit somebody. And you're right, Pittard did it for a while, and his leg is nice, but probably not at that level. And such a big kick and such a big part of the game now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It definitely helps your movement a lot. And what he also showed was he can defend pretty well too, one-on-one, which you've got to be pretty good at nowadays. So, obviously having an All-Australian year, he had a pretty good year in that regard. So it was really just a matter for us as a footy club just to see where he's at. And is he still driven to have the year that he had last year? And he's certainly come across that manner. You
grooming a player for that role? I mean, obviously you are, but is there somebody in your club you think can fill that role in the next couple of years?
Oh, look, we played Jasper and Benny Jacobs played a handful of games down there. So Piercy finished off playing down there the last month of his footy and played pretty well down there. So it's an important position. And we'll see what evolves. But we definitely, I'd like to think we could groom a couple of players to play there. But we want to get as many talented players up through our midfield as we can.
So have you told him you're going to pick him up, or have you told him you're in the shuffle?
No, we've had a chat and we said we're going to leave it at that and see where it goes. And
does he want a bigger commitment than that?
No, he was going to have a chat to his manager and see where it's at from there. So as I said, that'll play out soon. But he wasn't saying I need to know right now.
Okay, and other clubs knocking? Are you under the belief other clubs are knocking?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll, if it come down to money and bidding, have you got enough in the cap to
we're not going to pay over the odds for it by any stretch. But if it depends, I suppose, what he's after and what he wants. And as I said, that'll play out over the next few weeks.
Because as a coach, you can say to your list manager, "I want him."
Yeah.
And whatever it costs, I want him.
Yeah,
so you haven't said that.
No, I haven't said that.
No. I would.
We're going to do
I think it'd be fantastic. Look, I do. I've declared my hand.
We're into talking to a few other players, and we've got a good meeting next week, so we'll come further down that path as we get along.
2012 schedule came out. I think the Crows would have picked up theirs and thought, early for Christmas, got a dream one. I mean, I know they'll deny it and say you've still got to win. We understand all that, but no question, got a dream one. You didn't. You got a stinker. I mean, your first 4 games, you could not have said, you couldn't have picked, not worse games, but that's a tough gig for a team that finished where you finished.
Well, look, I suppose with draws, that people are going to review them straight on last year's performances, and some teams are going to drop out of the 8 and some are going to go in. So at the end of this year or the end of next season, we'll know if it was a tough start or not. But they're good teams we've got straight up. But I'm excited by that because we've got a huge and long pre-season where we're going to be fit and ready to go come round 1 against St Kilda at home.
You'll be up, you'll get them up early.
Yeah, we'll be up and ready to go for that, and we'll all be about preparing ourselves not to be peaking for round 1, but make sure we're ready to go for that, and use the NAB Cup games ready to go for that. So, it is a tough start for the teams that how they positioned themselves last year. But St Kilda at home, and then Essendon in Melbourne. Teams that are evolving too. St Kilda have got a new coach. Essendon is certainly developing as they went along. So, look, it's not the teams that finished down the bottom, but I'm excited by the challenge of facing those 2 teams straight up.
People want to know who they were. You've mentioned them. St Kilda at home, that's April 1, Sunday. Essendon at Port Adelaide at Etihad, that's Saturday. Then you've got Sydney Swans at home. And then you've got Collingwood at Etihad, and then the showdown. So you're right, it is tough, but a draw's a draw.
A draw's a draw, that's right. And, I know if you get off to a good start and get that belief going, who knows what can happen. And, West Coast did that last year. I think they just got over the line against North in round 1, played us and just beat us, and then they just won their 3rd round and round 3, and look what happened from there.
Matt, off to New Zealand on a training camp. Is it confirmed, and when will you go?
Yeah, we're going today fortnight. So we're just going for 5 days, just to about an hour and a half out of Christchurch. It's not a high altitude or anything like that. It's a bit of team bonding, do some exercise together, do some football stuff, and just get away and get with each other for 4 or 5 days. We did it back in start of 2004, and we got a real kick along by doing things. So we're going back to the same area, but apart from probably 3 or 4 players, a real different group of guys.
So if you had the coin, would you love to have done altitude training? Or actually, we had Cam Falloon on. I thought he answered it well. if I had an unlimited amount of money, I might look at it. But he said, I reckon you can spend your money more wisely on other things, and that's what we do. And I thought he answered that well.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt. If you had an unlimited budget, why not? Why wouldn't you go and do it and see if you can get that extra 1 or 2%? But we're happy we're doing this. We're going to have a month of good training into them before we go, and then we come back and we've got another 3.5 weeks before Christmas.
You're a believer in the camps? I mean, you would have come through the old school when the camps were genuine camps.
Yeah. I think they have their place. Not every year, I don't think, but I think they have their place every now and then. And I think this one will come at a good time for us to really just get away. And it's going to be no doubt about what we're going to stand for the season. Do a bit of footy specific stuff, and also get out amongst the wilderness and enjoy each other's company.
Can you keep your old school and semi-old school beliefs in the modern game now, or are they so archaic they just don't fit the modern player?
Oh, look, your modern beliefs of having competitive players and players that can win their own ball and win one-on-one contests or 2-on-2, or if you're outnumbered, win those contests. You had to see the grand final, and I know those last 10, 12 minutes before half-time when Collingwood looked like they were getting on top. Geelong just won some great one-on-one contests, and even I think it was Christensen's little contest out there on the flank where he beat two of them. Those things still win you the big games. Yep. And, kicking and your plans you have in place and your structures, if you don't win enough of the ball, as we found last year, you're not going to be in game. So that, if you want to call it archaic, that still was 100 years ago, and it probably still is going to be in 100 years' time. If you're to be able to compete and win your own ball, if you can't do that, you'll survive for little bits of AFL footy, but not for long enough.
We had a text from Lynn from Lobethal, 1999 1395. Did Tyson Edwards beat half the team around in a fitness test on the weekend?
No, he didn't. He could have, though, I reckon, and we did some hill running after that, and he could have beaten half of them again. So that's why I'm not saying we're not getting Leon, because we might get Tyson in the pre-season draft.
I heard he
development coach. Yeah, he did. He's still in pretty good nick. So
can he be a mature age rookie?
Yeah, he can be. Yeah, we could use him for that. So
what, a 39?
It's mature age.
No, he's going to be a great pickup for you. I'm that excited for him. Pick six. You've got pick six. We'll move on to that. GWS have got the first 5. Please tell me that the influence of Mark Williams down at GWS will give you a leg up and allow Chad Wingard to be there at 6. Please tell me you've made that phone call.
I'd like to make that phone call.
He owes you.
Yes. Well, he was obviously having a good chat to Brogues and Chad during the year, so... look, we'll see what falls out. GWS are playing their cards pretty close to their chest. Normally, I think most people know how the top 5 or 6 is going to fall, but we probably don't. But we've done our due diligence on all the guys we want to pick, and whoever we get out of that top 6 is going to be a pretty good play for us.
Will it be on needs, or will it be on the best footballer available at 6?
A little bit of both. I think a little bit of both. I think there's some 3 or 4 terrific midfielders. What they're saying is the top 6. There's a pretty good ruckman amongst it. I think the key position guy, Patton's going to be long gone before we get there. So, I think we're going to get a pretty good player either through the midfield or down back, and we'll see what plays out from there. But our recruiters, Jeff Parker, headed by Jeff Parker, done a pretty good job, and we're excited by who we're going to get.
Do you rate him, Wingard? You seen enough of him?
Yeah. Saw a bit of him during the year, and I've seen enough of him on the tape over the last month or so. So he's an exciting player and got plenty of talent.
Will you fill your list, or will you save a spot for pre-season?
Probably lean towards having a spot in the pre-season pick in the pre-season draft for sure.
Anything locally you like, mature age-wise, or?
There's a couple of mature age ones here, so we'll probably see what falls out of pick 6, and we know we've got Brad and Brent Renouf on our list, so probably that pick there will be a bit more needs basis.
Okay, beautiful.
Well, Matt, well done, mate. That went really quick, didn't it? You had 4 coffees, 15 litres of water.
And we didn't even touch on Daniel Norton and Dolly Parton.
Oh, do not. Now, do you know the story that your media liaison manager, Daniel Norton, was at the Dolly Parton concert, 3 rows back, took his top off, jumped on the seat and sung 9 to 5. Now, I would take him into your office and have a good stern word with him, Daniel.
Why didn't he have his port jumper on when he did it? That's
exactly.
That's what we'd be asking. But the boys always run a book when they come in here. How often can Daniel get on? And once again, he's got us talking about him.
Well done. Okay, here it is. weareportadelaide.com.au. Log on. 36,500 bone last year.
Yep.
Hopefully get a lot more than that. It's a fantastic membership campaign. Get on the website, follow the links, away you go. Matty, all the best, mate. Second year, fantastic. And we're here. We are Port Adelaide.
Thanks for having me in, guys.
Good.